Everybody, welcome back to another episode of DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm Rose Meguro 31. Thanks for still watching at this point in the year. I know it's a long grind, long season. Most people have moved on to football and other activities. But we still got four races to go, three in this round, and then the final. Coming up, Las Vegas, decent track here. They ran here in the spring. Josh Berry won. There was they brought the same tire from Kansas. So if you want to look back, that's kind of comparable here for that. It's a steep intermediate. The tire wear is starting to really, as this track age, become a factor. So it should be a pretty cool race to watch here. So just gonna bang this out. I didn't put up the playoff standings, so I don't think it really matters that much here. There's still eight drivers alive in it, and I think that they're just going to kind of race for this one because they really Talladega is such a wild card coming up, and then you have like Martinsville to figure it out. So I think this race, they go out there and they just see if they can win it or do what they need to. I don't think that they're super worried about points, but I do think that if even if they do stay out for points in stage one and two, you could have some cautions at the end of the race, which could jumble things back up again. So I'm not really going to be fixated on that or next week with Talladega, but like at Martinsville, then we'll look at that before the finale at Phoenix. So just the way the schedule is, I don't know if I'll have any more truck or Xfinity races this season for videos. It's just the way they fall and like my schedule and stuff. Trying to get mom to doctor's appointments on like Thursdays and Fridays. It's still difficult to be able to get that. I barely have enough time to watch practice and qualify and get the sheet out. So it's just tough to get videos. But stay tuned to the channel because there is potential. I'm off the last week of October, so might be able to get the ones out there for Martinsville. Or actually, that would be the finale for Phoenix. So just stay tuned. But thanks for watching still. But anyways, if you go to the description video, there's a link to our website. The Discord is free to get into, and there's a NASCAR pool room where if I don't get a video out, I usually at least throw you the sheet, so you have something to work on. So here, it almost looks like practice qualifying was rained out because you have like all the Gibbs cars and all the Hendricks cars, and then the 2311 cars, and it looks like some formula was used, but this is what happened. So I'm not going to really be fixated on practice data because you have the two groups again, and then sometimes with rubber on the track or different like temperatures or cloud cover, it just kind of skews them. Plus, some of the drivers were out there purposely running on older tires just to see how the tire wear was. So you can't really judge the fall off on that because it's not like an even playing field of how many laps they ran on the same type of tire. So starting up top, I think you have your top six here are definitely the dominator group. You probably want two of them, maybe three, if you can get there. The core I gave you with the prime plays are good value plays that should be able to hold their position or advance. Good tire wear, so you should be able to get three of these drivers in if you want to. And if not, then I'll have a pivot for you if you want to go a little bit more balanced. So Hamlin won Kansas after bullying Bubba Wallace kind of for the win there. Pretty cool paint scheme. That's why I put it on the cover. But I definitely think he's going to be chalky and one that could be very solid here. Although Briscoe could get out ahead of him and lead a bunch. So I think in GPPs, you need to consider Briscoe, or if you're doing like 20 maxes, then rotate through the top three up here. Throw my primes in. If you have some money left, then drop one of the primes and move up a little bit to another like cash play or somebody that you feel is solid for your lineup. So it's kind of fun building these lineups here with like these six options up top here. Bell, another one that's really good at these types of tracks, steep tracks, tire wear tracks, the intermediate tracks, and having a solid season. Wouldn't shock me if he went out there and dominated and won this race either. Elliott's more of a wild card here. He's gotten better at these types of tracks. He's been decent at tire wear throughout his career, so we'll just have to see how that unfolds. He's probably out of all of the one up here in the top six, he'd be my least favorite, but that's he's one of the cheapest here too. So keep him in the player pool. But if you're only playing like a three entry, I don't think I would be using Elliott. Byron, like this here, looked like one of the fastest cars in practice, and it's another style that suits him. Then you have Larson, who has like kind of baked in five place differential points there. Could go out there and dominate. Has been very good this track, but it's just his recent form. You kind of question why he's the most expensive driver still, and can he get it done? We haven't really seen like a super dominating race for him as of late, so we'll have to see. But I think he's still in play. But I think I'm going to treat him more as a GPP play. I don't think he would be the cash. If I could get, for cash, I like the purple ones, but I might switch it up a little bit too. Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick, I think the 2311 cars are here. Reddick is I prefer, but you're paying $1,000 more. So if you don't have that and you want to go with Wallace, who again has had a really good race at Kansas until that final restart where Hamlin got ahead. Um, did he win or did Blaney win it? I don't remember, but I just remember Bubba was definitely in contention there. So now we come to the first Penske car. The Penske cars just did not look good in practice and qualifying. So I don't know if they can make the adjustments to get it right. If there is some place differential, if they can. I just looking at how well the Gibbs cars and Hendricks cars were, besides Bowman's kind of on the fence. Look at that in a second. I don't know, like all these Penske cars, maybe I'll play them as a group in a GPP, but I'm really not feeling them in cash. Gibbs, GPP up here. Could he get up there and lead some laps? Yeah, I mean he's got the kind of the same foundation as the top three drivers and a little bit of place differential, but he just never seems to get it done. Busher, RFK cars, I think look are looking for 2026, like to get information on these tracks, as Vegas is usually an early track for the season. If the tire comes back to try to feel it out, setups, things like that. So I just think he's going to go backwards. Bowman, like, didn't look as good as the rest of the Hendricks cars. So I'm going to put him with 100K because I think the potential's there. I think it could make the adjustments based on how the other ones did. And he's a solid driver that usually gets floor results. So I think he's fine for the giant GPP because I think he has the upside and a safe enough floor that he's not going to just completely destroy your lineup. Shane Van Gisberger's gotten bigger at these tracks, but not quite there yet. So fade for me, starting a little too far forward. Blaney, I think, is going to be highly owned just based on like he's Blaney and like they're looking at the place differential and think he can go out there and be a dominator. I don't know in this. I'm skeptical in this race. So GPP for me. Chastain, I think he's the one here. You're saving 1,500 off of Blaney. You have a nice place differential, and that's why I like kind of look at him in starting order sometimes versus like a lot of people like just rank them by salary and go over them. But and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just kind of like to see like if I have two cars starting like with the same place differential upside and one's like 1,500 cheaper and like salary is something that I need to consider for this lineup, then definitely probably going to lean there. And I like Chastain's aggressiveness, and he should be pretty good at this track and the type of track and tire wear track. So Chastain, I definitely would play in cash. And again, if you're trying to balance out your lineup a little bit and drop one of my prime plays and go somewhere down the middle with only like two of the high priced ones, Chastain definitely makes a great pivot for you for your lines to be a little bit different than if everybody's going stars and scrubs and trying to take the three up here and then three down here. Priest, kind of same thing as Busher, not super interested with how RFK approaches playoffs when they're eliminated. Suarez still driving for a ride, but I think he's going backwards here. Not super impressed. McDowell, not a horrible type of track for him, not a great type of track for him. GPP for me. Really like this next road. Jones has been great on tire wear tracks. Allmendinger has been good on tire wear tracks. You don't really he's become more of a well-rounded driver than just the kind of road course king. So I think both of them are in play here in the 6,300 range. Custer, I think, is going backwards, so it's a fade for me. Hocevar is the one if you want to not go stars and scrubs, you want to go a little bit more balanced. You want to get like that Chastain in there and not play like 311K drivers or like or Byron at 10K. If you have some salary left over and you don't want to play all the ones up there, then Hocevar would be a prime play. You can I would probably drop a Stenhouse just based on being the furthest one forward and the other two having like a little bit more place differential baked in. Um, but if you have to, you can drop like John Hunter Nemechek, who's at 62, because it's only $800 difference. And So like, that leaves the two cheaper ones in your lineup. So it's your lineup. Play around and see what you like. Zane Smith, I like here also as a cash play, but I just like the other three a little bit better based on either like point per dollar or upside I thought they had for place differential. But Smith is definitely in play here. If you don't like one of these primes and you want to switch out Zane Smith, or if you can't get to John Hunter Nemechek because you're trying to play all 11K drivers or something, then Smith definitely is an okay pivot. Uh, Stenhouse, really like him here. I think this is a good track, but if you want to pivot up to Hocevar, which I think has a lot more upside, then Stenhouse would be the one to drop out of the primes. Austin Dillon, I think, is a cash play because he's got some floor, but I don't think he's got a ton of upsides. That's why I would pick the other ones as primes over him. Same thing with Haley here. John Hunter Nemechek, good on tire wear tracks. He's just been a couple races recently, hasn't been as good, but like if you look at his body of work throughout the season, he's had some solid finishes. And again, the tire wear, I think he like Legacy is starting to find some speed here in the Toyota Racing Development Program. So I think good things are on the horizon. Is he going to be a superstar? No, but I think he's going to be like more like someone that each week the consistency is there and has a shot of potentially winning a race down the road. Haley, I think it's okay here. I like the floor, I like the price, but again, the other primes in the region I think are much better plays. Gregson, he looked really good in practice and qualifying. Didn't wasn't the best, but I think if this car is set up for the long run, then I think they'll be fine here. And I think he's aggressive enough to get ahead of people and find windows and opportunities. He does get involved in wrecks and stuff, so I understand if you're a little bit apprehensive of playing him. If you want to switch him out for Hocevar, it's fine. I just like that he's the one of the further one back here. Josh Berry, GPP, like I think people are going to look at this and maybe medium's not right. Maybe he'd be highly owned and like people are going to hammer this play just based on, oh, hey, he won the race, but he won the race because he made some good calls in pit road and they worked out, took some risks and they paid off. And I don't think he would have the best car out there, but he had the best race strategies. That's I think to say, and I don't know if they can replicate that here with this race because it's a kind of a different tire, I believe. Like I said, it's the one they ran in Kansas and some other factors going on. I don't know if it's going to be apples to apples to compare, but I'll definitely be playing some of him. Gillian has cooled off a little bit, but I still think he has the floor for cash. Again, I like the one starting a little bit further ahead of him. Have more upside. Cindric, I think a lot of people are going to smash this play too and be like, wow, Cindric's all the way back here. He's a Penske driver. He's a good driver. Again, I just struggle with the setup and stuff, but I'm going to put him at top GPP because I think he's a perfect fit for that. And I think Kyle Busch is also because this is Kyle Busch's home track. Kyle Busch has dominated Vegas for many, many years, but Kyle Busch has not dominated anything in the Cup Series in the last couple of years. So, and obviously, like, didn't qualify here. Like, it wasn't like he had the fastest car and he's up in like the top three fighting for the pole. So we'll have to see how it plays out. And I think there's upside here with his knowledge of the track and the like kind of the home crowd and stuff. Although I don't know if they were really cheering for him or cheering against him. But it's something to consider, and I think it's the perfect for like 100K GPP. Hurst GPP, Kozlowski again, research and development, but starting this far back, I think there's upside. I just like the savings on some of the other drivers down here, especially like Dylan. Like, I don't love Dylan, but he's in a collie car. He's not in like a terrible car. He's okay here. He's actually kind of sneaky okay on tire wear tracks. So I think there's a lot of upside here to maybe get top 30, top 25 at 5K, 10 place differential points. That's fine. Where the other primes might be like holding in like this to top 25, top 20, and not getting as many place differential points. But I really didn't feel comfortable putting the prime tag on him just because I think Stunthouse is pretty solid. John Hunter Nemechek has had solid results, and Gregson, just the practice data looked really good. That's why I picked those top three. Cody Ware is a GPP, but probably should be a fade, and I'm not touching Yaley and Leggy. There'll probably be multiple laps down, and I don't think either one's going to finish the race. I think they're both trying to get drivers' points or owners points to try to get into like the Daytona 500 if they have to get on provisional, or like increase their stock for next year so that they can get into some of these races on provisionals. If there's the Cup Series rarely has like eliminations, like you don't see that much like at all like you did probably about like 10 years ago in all the series where a lot of cars are racing to get in and they only had a set amount of spots, and like the cup races used to have 43 drivers every single week and 4 or 5 wouldn't make it and people were like fighting for those spots. You don't really see that much anymore, but for the big races like the 500 and stuff you do. So I think that's kind of where they're in here in these types of races. So I got for you for questions. Put them chat below. Hit me with Megor31 on Twitter/X. For more information on DFS, like I said, it's in the description. A video to get into our Discord. And if I don't have the video, you can join the NASCAR pool room for free, and I'll have some content information there. And feel free to ask questions as soon as I take care of the paying subs. I try to check in there and see if I can help you out with anything. So can't give you full lineups, can't approve full lineups, but I can, give you some advice on a 1v1 or something like that, or 2v2. So appreciate you watching. Check out the channel for other things. Charlie's doing soccer regularly, trying to do NFL also. And again, if these videos help, thank you for watching them. But help us back, like, subscribe to the channel, and share with friends. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. Hope your weekend ends amazing. East Coast. Hope the rain is enough to help with all the dryness, but not enough to cause devastating destruction. So good luck to everyone. I'll see you.